Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Brendan and welcome back to the channel. I hope all of you guys are having a good day wherever you guys are from. And today we have another Bitcoin technical analysis and price prediction for you. Now, earlier today I posted the bullish case scenario for Bitcoin, arguing how Bitcoin could hit and even break the all-time highs, as well as charting out some major resistance levels. But now I want to have the flip side of that argument, play a little bit of devil's advocate here and argue everything that is bearish on Bitcoin and how this could even potentially be the top of this fantastic bull run that we have had and where Bitcoin could be heading to the downside. So if that sounds interesting and you guys are curious about hearing the flip side of that argument, make sure you guys stick around for the entire length of the video, as there will be important information discussed the entire way through. Now, this is such a perfect time to make a video like this because Bitcoin has seen some major sell-offs since this morning's video. So if we want to go ahead and zoom in over here on this daily chart that we have, we can see that we peaked all the way up to around $57,000, hit that resistance level, and then immediately shot down all the way down to the $51,000, $52,000 area. And now we are seeing a little bit of a retracement. But I want to go ahead and break this down on a 4-hour time scale, talk about the significance of these levels, and then kind of look at where we could go from here into the coming days or even weeks. So with Bitcoin rejecting this 50 EMA, this was something fairly surprising to me. We had broken over this in this morning's video, and it looked like we were actually going to close this candle on top, only for us to wick back down and actually have the candle body closing below this, have this break, or really, the break through the 50 back down through the 50 EMA, the hook, retesting it, and then continuing to move down to the downside. Now, the following 2 4-hour candles after this have just been straight sell-offs, a lot of red, even piercing through this 200 EMA. Now, if you guys remember, this was one of the micro resistance levels that I talked about this morning. It was really a level that I think that we would still, or could possibly break in the coming days or even weeks. But this was a surprising rejection, actually signifying that the bears are fairly strong in this level, and we'll look at just how strong they are in a little bit when we're looking at things like the RSI. But with the bears not even getting to the macro resistance level that I talked about this morning, being from the macro swing highs, it was fairly surprising to see that we did not even have enough strength to test this macro level, and in fact we went ahead and rejected this micro level before even getting to the macro level. So that in and of itself is a fairly good sign that the bears are getting stronger at these higher price action levels that Bitcoin has been reaching, which is something that we haven't seen in again, a very long time. So with Bitcoin breaking through this 50 EMA, this 200 EMA on this 4-hour time scale, this in and of itself is not a detrimental thing, because we saw this the last time that Bitcoin sold off. We rejected the 50, we came down, broke below the 200, had some piercing candle action, even had some 4-hour candle body closings above this area, but for the most part, it was immediately bought back up, retested it as support on the next swing attempt to the downside, and continued heading upwards after this point. So I'm not too worried about this now. It could be very detrimental, or we're going to learn a lot here in the coming days of whether or not Bitcoin actually wants to reject this previous low, or what was previously support here. It might be turned into resistance. So if we see something like this happen, where we have this candle body closing, come back up, reject this previous level that we talked about, reject this, and then continue to the downside, that could be a very telltale sign that this might be the top for Bitcoin. Now, we're making some fairly large accusations here, but again, I want to play a little bit of devil's advocate. I want to talk about everything that I could mention as a bearish aspect. So let's get into the RSI over here on this daily time scale, because this was something I believe I actually mentioned in Monday's video in one of the members in the Discord, which if you guys want to join, completely free, link in the description down below, no strings attached. One of the members down in there named Soy Sauce brought this up as well. So with Bitcoin over here on this RSI, we are starting to see some pretty fair bearish indications, meaning that we have 1, 2, 3 attempts that are lower swing highs on this 1-day macro time scale. So this is something that is very important. If you guys know me, I haven't mentioned the RSI, I feel like, in the last month or so as much. There hasn't been really much to say, but this is a very telltale sign that there is some bearish action and that the bears are gaining in strength over here because upon every attempt to the upside, they are getting stronger and stronger and stronger. And what this is showing, that every time we bounce, the bulls are weaker than they had previously been, not once, not twice, but 3 separate times, all in this overbought territory. So this is something that I am looking at as a sign of weakness from the bulls from where the current price action was around that $60,000 level. And that once Bitcoin hit that level, it was getting, the bulls were falling off in strength and the bears were certainly gaining in strength from this little here. Another thing that I was saying is, if we wanted to zoom out just a little bit, we have had so many of the flip side of this argument happening on Bitcoin for months on months. I would even say, actually, for the last 12 months, Bitcoin has been forming consistent higher swing lows on a macro timescale for over a year now. So it's not too crazy to say that Bitcoin could pull back after a straight year of ripping from $4,000 to $62,000. It might have a pullback. That doesn't mean that it's the end of Bitcoin. That doesn't mean that it's going to never ever reach 62,000 or plus or above that again. But if something's been ripping, hundreds of percent over the course of a 12-month period, it might pull back. It might go into a mini, I want to say this with loose terms, but a mini bear market to kind of find some strength, recollect itself, and then chug to new all-time highs like it's always done before. So this might be time for Bitcoin's daily to start moving down to a lower swing high for the first time in over a year. So that's just something to notice and something that I found very, very important. Now, one thing that I don't want to bat a blind eye to, I know that this is supposed to be the bearish argument video, but there could potentially be double bullish divergence forming on this daily MACD. But even with the oscillators on the MACD, we can see that these are even forming lower swing highs, and they have both crossed and are pointing to the downside for the time being. So if you are a bull in this area, number one, you need to close this 4-hour candles above the 200 EMA on this 4-hour timescale. And number two, there also needs to be, there's also some heavy support around $50,000 because you also have the 50 EMA on this 1-day timescale, which is this yellow band right there, which has been routinely support for Bitcoin in the past, especially on these major sell-offs that it's seen from its previous all-time highs. 50K is going to be a very strong support, or should be a very strong support for Bitcoin. On top of that, it's going to be a psychological support in and of itself. But that is the most of it for Bitcoin. I want to talk about the volume, but I think that is going to be a lot to talk about. And so for the sake of the length of this video, I'm going to leave that to the next one. So I hope you guys did enjoy. If you guys did, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. There will be lots more content like this one. So if you guys did enjoy it, leave a comment in the comment section down below. If you guys want to join the Discord, it's a free link to that in the description down below as well. So once again, guys, I appreciate all of you guys who watch and interact with the channel, and I'll see you all in the next video.